Hey everybody, it's 2022. Means we're still talking twos. Today we're going to talk about not these, but what goes in them, your feet. And we're going to talk about what they're good for, why we're excited about feet, why we care about these things that your feet go into, how your body's natural asymmetry affects your feet, and how we can use your feet to affect your body's natural asymmetry. Stay tuned. Alright, every year we put out a shoe list. Lori does a lot of work on this shoe list. Spend a ton of time, we get a ton of questions. It's probably the most looked at thing on our website is our shoe list. And everybody wonders, why we make such a big deal about these shoes. And it's not the shoes that we're real excited about. It is actually the feet that are in the shoes. You got two of them. You got a right one and a left one, and they have responsibilities for your whole body. They're one of the three main things that your body's really sensing to keep you up. Okay, so we got two main things we have to manage in these shoes. The first thing is the biomechanical structure of that foot, and that's where these shoes come in. The support of the arches, and we have an expert in Dr. Coffin that makes orthotics for us that helps structurally hold that foot into a good position. And what Dr. Coffin knows is that orthotic also helps change the sense, which is the important part about that foot that we're really going to be talking about today. And the sense that your foot is giving your brain to know where you're at in relationship to the ground underneath you. And that's one of the key things that your body's using in order to set the level of tension and muscles in your body so you don't fall over when you stand and so you stay upright when you walk. And that sense of pressure either on the bottom of your foot and through the ligaments of your ankles is constantly giving your brain messages about where you're at in space. So we need to make sure that the sense that your feet are giving your brain and your ankles are giving your brain is matching the senses that you're getting from your eyes and from your teeth and from the rest of your body, so that you're comfortable with where you're standing, and ideally you're standing in a nice balanced position. Now, we believe and we know that your body has a bias to it. You have an imbalance between your right side and your left side. And if you spend any time looking at our videos or you've been a patient here, you realize that we're really into managing this asymmetry. And a normal human asymmetry says your center of gravity and your body tends to want to favor over to your right side. And so as your center of gravity favors to the right side and you have a rotation to the right side, there tends to be more pressure pushed down on that right foot. And so your brain is tuned into the pressure underneath your right foot. A lot more is tuned into the pressure under your left foot. And so that sense of where's my center of gravity at is tuned into based on the pressure on either foot. So that's one thing, is the pressure. Now, as our body tends to want to rotate one way, that tends to create a foot on the right side that wants to roll to the outside of that foot, so we have a little higher arch on the right side, and a foot that wants to roll to the inside of the left foot, so we have a little lower arch on the left side. So a normal asymmetrical foot is going to be a higher arch on the right and a lower arch on the left. Now that leads us back to these cool shoes, because I've never found a pair of shoes that has a different arch on the right shoe than compared to the left shoe. They're always the same. So which foot should we match? Should we match the right foot that has a little higher arch or the left foot that has a little lower arch? Well, it kind of depends. Depends on what your needs are in order to balance those two feet out so you feel the same. So there may be a different need for your shoes based on where you're at in your program. If you're really stuck over on your right side, we might want a shoe that gives you more awareness of that right arch so you can feel like you can pull yourself down to the middle. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. If you're just somebody that really is more on your toes because you have a tendency to be more forward or to one side or the other, you might need a shoe that has a little bit more support for your heels. If it's more the ligament structure that's damaged, you're going to definitely need more support for that heel rather than worrying about arches or toes or any of those things, because the ligaments aren't giving you the sense that we need. So it depends on where you're at in your rehab program, what your background is as to which shoe you want to, and that shoe is probably going to change. So if you've been wearing the same shoe for 5, 6, 7 years, you may not need that shoe. You may be ready for a new shoe, or you should maybe seek other shoes to see if it matches your program and can help you move forward. So one shoe isn't the perfect shoe for everybody. One shoe isn't the perfect shoe for you forever. Depends on what you need and what your issues are. Now, that's not the purpose of today's goal, is to go into which shoe you should be wearing. The purpose is to say, well, now how we know that your feet are a little bit different because your body's a little bit different on the right side. How can we use those feet now to help this asymmetry out? And not just what we put on it, how can you actually use your feet? So I will tell my patients this activity quite frequently, and it's a fairly easy thing that you can do anytime, anywhere. You just got to be able to stand up. And all I want you to do is you're going to think about the pressure on the bottom of your feet. I tell people if there's a map of pressure, where are you feeling pressure on the bottom of your feet? You know, where, like in the, you know, when the storms come through, you have red is where the major rain is, and green is where it's a little bit light rain. For pressure, red would be where the most pressure is, green would be where there'd be little pressure. So if we mapped your foot out, I want you to think about 5 different spots on your feet. We've got your big toe, we've got all your toes together, we have your heel, we have just the outside of your foot, and we have the inside of your foot. So kind of 5 general areas where you can kind of put pressure on your foot. And now you've got a right foot and a left foot. So if we can try to put more pressure, more red on that map on specific parts of your feet, you'll feel your body will have to move its posture, its upright position based on where that pressure goes. So if I put pressure on both of my toes, all my toes, my center of gravity is going to come forward. And I'm going to have to push so I don't fall over. If I do both of my heels, I'm going to fall over backwards. Well, those aren't necessarily good things in terms of wanting both heels or both toes. But now let's say I put my big toes, or all my toes on my right foot and my heel on my left, now I'm going to start to get a little bit of a twist. If I do toes on my left and heel on my right, I'm going to get a little bit of a twist the other direction because the pressure of my feet is directing my body. Now your ability to utilize the different movements of your feet and the different axes of your feet and of your ankles to find all those different positions is going to create movement in your body, which I want you to get better at. I want you to be able to figure out how can I use my feet, just the pressure, just moving my ankles a little bit. Right arch and left heel we know is a big one that we like because that helps you shift to the left and back on the left. The reason is because that pressure helps you get there. Now, it's not necessarily bad to feel your left arch and your right heel because that'll put you over on your right side. So as you stand in line at Walmart, you can practice. Oh, I'm just going to put pressure on my right arch, left heel, and then I'm going to go to all my toes on the right, my arch on my left. Oh, I came forward into the left. Okay, now I'm going to go outside foot right, heel left. Now I'm going back into the right. You can kind of play around with where does the pressure on your feet move your body. And it doesn't have to be prescriptive of this is a good spot or a bad spot. But ideally, if it's a different spot on each foot, you're going to have some sort of emotion. And it's going to be something that you can just explore. So next time you're just standing in line, feel your feet, find the pressure, tune into it, get that system kind of revved up, and just explore how moving the pressure on your feet can affect your body. And you'll find certain spots are easier and harder, and then the better you get, the more we know that your foot is guiding your body, which is what it's designed to do. And that'll make whatever shoe you got on work a little bit easier and make your program go a little bit easier because you won't be so biased and stuck in one direction. All right, hope that helps. Keep an eye out. We'll be talking more things beyond feet and shoes. We look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks a bunch. Bye.